Grab your pre-workout and turn up that volume. It is time for a new episode of the Powerlifter's Den with your host, Cam Smith. What's up, Powerlifter's Den family? Want to rep the podcast and look good while doing it? Check out my official merch store at plden.company.site. We've got tees, hoodies, beanies, hats, and more, and gear that'll keep you motivated in and out of the gym. Every purchase helps support me and the podcast and keeps the den growing strong. So whether you're hitting a heavy squat session or just lounging in style, we've got you covered. Head to plden.company.site and grab your merch today. Listen, I don't have a beard. I've got this glorious mustache. But even this stash deserves elite care. That's where Wicked Wolf Beard Co. comes into play. Their oils and balms keep the face fuzz fresh, soft, and ready for action. No crusty cowboy nonsense here. It smells great, feels great, and makes me look more like I lift heavy things. Beard, mustache, or something in between, Wicked Wolf's got your mug covered. Wicked Wolf Beard Co. Respect the stash. Head on over to Wicked Wolf Beard Co. and use code PLDEN for 25% off your order. Shout out to my guy Bear over at Summit Performance Therapy, the only person I trust to scrape me, needle me, and massage me, and fix my squat at the same time. If your joints sound like microwave popcorn, or you've been limping since Tuesday's deadlifts, Bear's your guy. He knows lifters, he is a lifter, and he's got magic hands, dry needles, and a deep understanding of how to not let your body fall apart. Book a session and tell him the PL Den sent you. Summit Performance Therapy. Reach your summit. Powered by Bear. Literally. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Powerlifter's Den. I'm your host, Cam Smith, and today I wanted to bring on this old school legend, Chad Aichs. Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Chad Aichs.
Aichs.
But trust me, that's been messed up so many times. I was doing articles I started doing videos for Muscle and Fitness. Then we did articles, and then somehow I did a column too. And one of the guys, like, it was Dave Barr actually. He's like, dude, I got the name. It's Aches and Pains. And I go, well, my name's not Aches, it's Aichs. But whatever, like, let's go. They don't care. So Chad Aichs, was a pretty good power lifter, put up some pretty good numbers back in the day. Now I'm trained myself, but I'm not really competing much anymore. I just stick to coaching. I did a couple years at the Highland Games, which was awesome. I love the Highland Games. I do have a little bit of a background throwing in high school and college, and I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll get into your background a little bit. So I know you started competing in 1997, but maybe before that, what kind of got you into the gym and kind of who got you onto the platform from there?
Well, I started lifting. I'm actually currently writing a book, and I just wrote a little bit about some of this stuff. I started lifting. My brother's a year older than me, so going into his freshman year, he wanted to start lifting weights for football. So I started lifting for him. He did football, took a different route. So we stopped lifting, and then I played my freshman year, didn't make first string, was completely and utterly pissed off. Said, okay, I got to get bigger. I got to get stronger. Like that's the only thing that made sense to me. So I started lifting, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I've done it ever since. This right now is the longest I've ever went without training consistently during building this barndominium my entire life.
Yeah.
And I realized later in life that a big part of me lifting and why I loved it was it helped me control my anger. And so through a lot of my life before powerlifting and in between, I had a period where I had to stop throwing because I had chronic compartment syndrome, and we had surgery and there were some complications, and they basically said, you can keep doing this, but if you're going to irritate it at some point, and we're going to have to amputate your legs. Well, that was a pretty easy decision. I'm partial to my feet. So I kept lifting in between there. And the whole time I look back now and I go, man, I like lifted so I didn't kill people. I lifted because I hated my job. Like that was like got me through every day was that challenge of going to the gym and pushing myself as hard as I could. Then I happened to bought some land on the other side of Nevada in this mining town. I opened a small auto detailing company, and I was training at the gym there, and two guys, Raul Lopez and Wade Jensen. I still remember their names. They're like, hey, we're putting on a bench meet. And I'm like, cool, dude. I've never seen powerlifting. I've always kind of tried to find out about it, but I go, I'm there, dude. And they're like, no, you're lifting in it. And I'm like, what? No, no, I'm not strong enough for that. I'm like, when is it? And they're like, 3 weeks. And I go, yeah, dude, there's no way. I can't be ready. They're like, dude, trust me, you're ready. I go, no way, huh? And they just kept hounding on me, man. And so finally I signed up and I'm like, all right, fine, whatever, I'll do it. And I didn't realize how much I missed competing. I didn't realize like it was so fun. Everybody was so cool. Even though I didn't know shit, everybody was great. I had such a good time. And it was like, wow, that was cool. I want to do another one.
Yeah.
And I had a move and some other shit that happened. But so like in 99, 2000 is probably when I went, that's it. I'm fucking doing this.
And that's when I was born.
Is it really?
Yep, 2000.
Young guys. It's so weird being old. You'll see someday. It's not a bad thing. It's just weird. Like I was talking to one of my friends the other day and I'm like, how old's your daughter now? And he's like, oh, she's 30. I'm like, what? When did that happen?
Yeah, no, it's funny, especially in powerlifting where it's like a solid group of my friends are like my dad's age. They're like 43, 44. It's
Yeah.
like it's just so funny.
But you all get along. It's
Exactly.
like you don't really even realize that there's this age difference.
Yeah, until you like go hang out with them outside of the gym or something, and you're like, oh, they're bringing their kids, but I'm like, I'm gonna bring a 6-pack. Like,
No, I've always been the one that ends up playing with their kids. I'm like, fuck you guys. You guys are boring. I'm gonna go fucking wrestle with your kids.
yeah, but kind of go back to with that first meet. It's funny how like it took so much convincing, and then like you do it and you're hooked immediately. And I find that that's a very common situation. Like you try to get your friend to do a meet, you're like, just do a push pull or just do a bench only. Next thing you know, they're fully involved in powerlifting.
You know, I think I had this image in my head, and that's why I tell people don't ever do this. I had this image, like I had seen some of the best guys. Like I kind of knew who Anthony Clark was. And I'm like, well, they benched 700 pounds. I benched 415 raw in my first meet. So I was like, dude, I suck. I bench 415. Like I'll go, when I can bench 7, I'll go do a meet.
Yeah.
And like, dude, you're never going to get to fucking 7 because you're never going to meet the people and learn the skills to get there. So like, stop. Don't even set yourself a number. Just go do a meet.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, and I actually never really thought
Just
about
go
it.
do it.
I never really thought about the perspective of like, if you want to get to these certain numbers by starting now, you're going to meet the people that are going to get you there.
Yes, you're gonna gain like every meet. I gained so much experience just from every meet. You know, just talking to people and meeting new people and watching what people are doing. And like, you want to bench 700 pounds? Start going to meets that there's going to be some people benching that.
Yeah. So I guess over the years of competing, what's kind of the biggest thing you've seen change in the sport?
Nutrition and size. Like when I was lifting, it was eat everything, get as big as you can, because the bigger you get, the better chance of you getting stronger.
Yeah.
So like there was groups of people that wanted to stay in weight classes. We wanted to get big, and we didn't give to. I don't give a shit how big I get. How much can I lift?
Yeah.
I topped the scales at 397 at APF Seniors in Detroit. That was the heaviest I ever weighed in.
Jeez. And what are you sitting at nowadays?
Just under 300.
Yeah.
But it was kind of different. Now people are looking, and really there was, and this is stupid. I know this is stupid, but I kind of have things that I enjoy, thoughts, you know, but I know they're stupid, but I still think they're kind of funny. And one of those is like, dude, I don't give a fuck living forever. I want to be strong as shit, right? I mean, come on, that's a stupid statement.
Yeah.
But I had it. And I still kind of, when people say it, I'm like, all right, I kind of respect it. Like, I would rather see you live longer, but I kind of respect it. And at some point you go, dude, you're young. Like, you're not going to do that much damage that you can't reverse.
Yeah.
You know, so we kind of had that, like, we were eating fast, whatever. It was like, dude, I want to get 400 calories, or I want to get 400 grams of protein. If I get 3,000 extra calories today, who gives a shit? You know, like, we didn't even care. And now I think guys are a lot healthier. Guys want to stay in shape. And so you're seeing guys that are in better shape and healthier that are doing some of the weights that we were doing.
Yeah.
Bigger. You know, and I did a post the other day. I look at some of the things guys are doing, like Jimmy Kolb.
Yep.
Dude, it's insane.
Just yeah.
And then you got like Colton, what is his name?
Angle Brett.
Engelbrecht, like 2650 something raw. Like we were trying to hit that in double ply gear, and the dude's in shape.
People are still trying to hit that in fucking 8 plies of shit. It's
Like,
so uncomprehendable.
yeah, so there's this, I think, a whole new level. I think guys are figuring out, I think they're figuring out, first of all, it's not about how much can I train. It's about how much training is productive.
Correct.
And guys are going, well, okay, well, wait a minute, recovery is important. You know, so I need to pay attention to my nutrition. I need to pay attention to my sleep health and all these other things. Where I think we had a little bit more of a crazy underground attitude. Like we were outlaws anyway, so we were going to push it to the limit,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm not saying that that's bad because it was fun, but I look at some of the guys now and go, well, no wonder they're like hitting the numbers they are, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Honestly, I agree with that statement too. Is like you look at like a good example is the weight class I'm in. I'm trying to fill it out. I'm very light for a 275. I'm like 250, but you see 275s now that are like 5, 6, 7% body fat competing rather than just
Yeah,
being a fat 275. Like a fat 275 is less common now.
yeah. And I mean, ideally, we also had, you know, we had, I think gear and raw are a little bit different. I don't think they're as different as people think they are, but I think they are different. Like, so in gear, you're like, dude, I want to get my bloat on, make my gear a little bit tighter, try to get a little more out of it.
Yep.
There's also too tight in gear. Um, so it was kind of a different perspective. And if you shove enough mass into gear, you're going to get more out of it. Like, but that mass isn't going to help you. You know, like you say, you're 250. If you put, 30 pounds of fat on, that's 30 pounds more you have to squat.
Yeah.
That doesn't count on the bar. So, like, I mean, it makes sense. It's just, I think it evolved, and I would say actually got a little bit smarter, more intelligent.
Yeah, and I think that the kind of on the bigger picture, it's like a longevity thing of like if you're staying healthier, you can compete longer. And turns out
Hmm.
the longer you compete, the stronger you can get. So it's
Hmm.
like it's something that we just missed the mark on for so long, and we're like, oh, okay, we get it now. If you can compete for 20 years, you're gonna have your best total in those last 5 years, rather than gaining 100 pounds, hitting a total, and then having a heart attack 5 years later.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a really good point. And I mean, I feel like I was on like the precipice of some of this stuff. I mean, I was one of the only big guys that stretched, and I was flexible as hell, and that saved me in a couple of crashes. It helped me longer. I mean, I'm 50, I don't know how old I am. I'm 50 something, 53, 54, I think. And like, I mean, I have no shoulder issues. I have no hip issues. I have no back issues. Like I got through all of this being healthy as hell. And I think a lot of that was because with my sleep issues, I tried to get the best sleep I could. Like I was conscious of it. I stayed flexible. I stayed mobile. You know, I was still, even at my biggest, I was still hiking and stuff. Probably not doing as much as I should have GPP wise, but I was still doing it. And I think that helped save me. And like you said, if you can, what's the biggest, how would I say, what's the biggest like thing that's going to keep you from attaining your goals?
Injuries,
It's going to be injuries.
100%.
So if you can keep the injuries away, not have them, and lift longer, like you said, you're not going to hit. You know, it's kind of like being older now. Like I have these friends that I knew in high school, and I don't see them for 20 years, and I see them now, and I'm like, dude, you were a skinny twig. Like, what the hell happened? I mean, even I don't know. You probably don't know Suicidal Tendencies, the
No.
band.
Um,
Okay,
I don't. It rings a bell, but
they're like this old band, and the lead singer was like this little skinny dude, and now he's of course close to my age, and he's stocky and built. And it's like, dude, that's the old man strength. That's that muscle maturity and mass that you're able to put on.
yeah.
Well, if you're beat to shit by the time you hit 35, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the direction. Obviously, we still have those people that are going like full throttle, but I think one of the biggest changes that I've started to implement now, which I'm glad I kind of came to the realization now, is like whether it's just regular training off season or in prep, like leaving a jump in the tank. Like if you instead of going RP 10, just make it a 9.5, and just like maybe if you can do hundreds on this accessory, go 95s. Like just these small little adjustments are gonna make it's just gonna build up better over time.
I'm a little different on that one,
Okay.
mostly because of my personality. So I think a lot of times I think it's a mistake. I think if you ever have a coach that goes, "Here's what you need to do. This is what you're doing." I think that's wrong
Okay.
because being at the top level and hanging out with all these different guys, they all train different. So how the fuck can you convince me that there's one right way to train?
Yeah.
There may be one right way for you. If you remember Gary Frank was so unbelievably dominant. Like he took the record from like 25 to like, I don't know, 28 something. And then he was right there with Andy, like just putting up these huge 900 deadlifts. That dude trained the weirdest training I've ever freaking even heard of. Like hour-long squat sessions where he actually ordered pizza in between. Like I'm like, dude, like what accessory? Like he just does main lifts. Like it was strange, but it worked. He's one of the strongest dudes in the world, breaking records at every meet.
Yeah.
So like, how can I say that's wrong? So going back on that, as a coach, I mean, I have what I like. I like conjugate. You know, I like training these certain ways. I have my philosophies, but I always try to talk to my clients. And I want to know, what do you like? I mean, if I can give you the best program in the world, and if you hate it and you don't like it, you're probably not going to get great results. I can give you a shit ass program, but if you think I'm a genius and you totally buy into it, you're going to do well. And that's where the mental side of it comes from. So for me, I totally understand what you're saying. I don't think we have to necessarily go as heavy as we do all the time. And especially back in my day, like we were just, I mean, I was berserk all the time. But what I did is I went, listen, I like going berserk. Like the idea of not going berserk like saddens me deeply in
Yeah.
my heart. It saddens me, but I can't do it all the time.
Yeah, so that's kind of my
So,
inner conflict. I'll just expand on that. Like my inner conflict is like I'm that same type of person. Like I need someone to be the brakes. I'm all gas, and it's like that's why I'm like I need to reel it back a little bit because I know if I keep doing
mhm.
this, I'm gonna blow a load.
But I think you can have gas, but you're going to have to add more recovery time in.
Yeah.
So when I was doing I started on a basic West Side template. Could not keep up. Like every fourth week we would go to shit. And everybody on my team, all the different people that were on my team, everybody went to shit. Now we weren't on drugs either, which makes a difference in your recovery too. So it turns out I started going, okay, what can I do? And I had a lot of conversations with Dave Tate about it. And I went, we're not recovering. So what I did is I decided to add more days off in there. Come to find out at the same time, Mark Bartley was running into the same problem. And so he was going, okay, listen, then every fourth week we're deloading no matter what. Well, in my brain, I chose what I chose because oh man, that means once a month, like I'm gonna have this whole week of deloading. That's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And you know, coming from the world where I trained to deal with life, and like I trained heavy as hell 5 or 6 days a week because I loved it. Now I'm trying to actually be the best I can be. So I was like, well, if I spread it out, then I don't have that full week. So we started spreading it out. And so we still went on max effort was max effort. Like you were going to failure. But I knew that if we did that, we're going to need more time to recover.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and then I look at my brain now and I go, apples, oranges, like which is better? It's kind of the same thing. It's just doing it in different ways.
Yeah, and I
You
agree.
know, and if you look at a bodybuilder, I've had people go, well, bodybuilders train. Well, yeah, a bodybuilder doesn't push his body to the limit that a powerlifter does. He's not killing his central nervous system. You know, he's just pushing his muscles. That's a whole different story, too.
Yeah, and that's where it gets me is the CNS, especially with being in like in the gear. It's like just the load alone is just taking so
Hmm.
much out of me. Like my muscle, I'm never like sore. I was just But, like, when I hit that, like, 3 weeks out, like, I'm 2 weeks out now. Last week, absolute shit show. I was so fried. Things weren't going my way. I also decided to drive 24 hours to Ohio, so that didn't help. But it's things like that with like I prioritize the recovery so much that when I can't keep up with it, it pisses me off more than anything.
Yeah, but there is a point. See, that's an interesting thing. You're leading me down the rabbit hole of the book I'm writing,
Let's
which
go
is
into
not
it.
it's not about lifting, it's more about mentality and life, but there's a lot of lifting stories in it.
Okay.
If you're a strength athlete, you got to focus more on that central nervous system and how good it can do. But what you said about, man, I'm focusing on recovery and I'm not getting it, you have to be very careful about that because you don't want to beat yourself up. Like, it's not your fault. It's your body. This is the way your body functions. If you're doing all the recovery that you can, it's not that you're lacking. It's not that it's nothing wrong with you. And I know that seems stupid, and I'm probably sounding like some stupid ass psychologist right now, but it's true. How you look at things and the words that you use are actually very important. And so, like, when you go, God damn it, I'm like I'm doing everything and I still can't keep up. It's more like, huh, I'm optimizing my recovery, but it's just not enough. So how else can I approach this?
Yeah, and I like that idea of like so I'll just use this example and hopefully this ages well in a couple weeks, but I was taking my second attempts or whatever a couple weeks out and I missed, and obviously immediately I'm like, this prep's ruined, blah blah blah, this is over. And then I take a step back once I like to get it all out, rant it out, and then I reframe my
Mhm.
mind. So instead of going, oh, I missed this, I'm gonna bomb out at the meet, I go, okay, I missed this. I need to recover more. I have the opportunity to take it again. I didn't get hurt. We're still good.
Yes. And so that's another interesting factor too, is that I don't think people realize how important sleep and recovery is to your mental status. I hear a lot of people talk about motivation. I'm not a fan of motivation. If you can get it, great, use it. Use anything you can use. But if you don't have underlying discipline, you're fucked.
Yep.
But people, I'm not motivated. I'm not motivated. Okay, well, how much are you sleeping? Like, if you're not sleeping enough, you're not going to be motivated. You're not going to want to eat healthy. Get your rest. You're going to wake up motivated as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's not about finding motivation. It's about what are you doing to your body to correct it so that it's there.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I'm the same type of like I believe like fuck motivation, you need discipline. Like I'm a very disciplined person, but at the same time, I've been doing this for I don't know, 5 years now and I'm motivated to go to the gym every damn day. It hasn't wavered once. Like I could have a bad day, I'm still motivated for the next session. And maybe that is because I prioritize my sleep. I get my 8 hours. If I only sleep 6, I'll take a 2-hour nap in the day. Now that we're getting
Yes.
towards the end of prep, I'll try to sleep 10 hours. So,
Hmm. And it's huge. It's huge. Instead of looking at why am I negative, I mean, instead of complaining about being negative, why are you negative? Because you can fix it. And people are like, I just got to get tougher. I'm like, I love all that tough shit. I grew up. I'm blue collar, man. Like, I grew up, you do the job no matter what, you get it done on time and you're proud of that. You're dead, you're beat the shit, you broke your arm, you're still proud you got the job done.
mhm.
Like, I grew up on that. I think that was actually probably a problem for me that I had to learn to adjust to, because it was just about getting it done, and that's where your pride comes from. But there's pride in being intelligent about it too, and understanding what's going on, and to that aspect of being forgiving of yourself. I have narcolepsy and all these sleep problems. I didn't spend time being pissed off that I had sleep problems or being pissed off at myself because I couldn't sleep. I just went, okay, this is what I have. How can I make it work?
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to
Like,
play the
I just
cards
have
you're
to be.
dealt.
It just happened. The universe wasn't pissed off at me. It didn't give me narcolepsy because I was somebody in another life, or if I was fucking Hitler in another life, so I have narcolepsy. I don't know, but it just happened. So I can either accept that and figure out a better way, or I can focus on it and get nothing done.
Yeah, and it kind of going off that. I posted a story yesterday of like I hate the word deserve. No one deserves anything. It's all earned. And so I think it kind of goes along those lines of like, dude, no one's out to get you. Like whatever you have to deal with is what you have to adapt to and just work
Yeah.
with. You can't change certain things.
It's funny because I do, because every now and then I'll go, "Oh, Chad, you deserve that." And I go, "Really? Do I really deserve it? Does anybody really deserve anything?
Exactly.
Like, you were born. That's what you're here. That's what you deserve. That's what you got." Like, I mean, it's a weird term, and it's so ingrained in our society that, like, sometimes, like you said, sometimes we got to catch ourselves and go, "Wait a minute, just because everyone else does this doesn't mean it's right."
Yeah. And I think the cool thing about having you on with this episode is like talking about it within the world of powerlifting, because everyone's concerned about what are you lifting, how are you training, what are you eating, but no one's talking about how are you dealing with this bad week,
Mhm.
how are you what's your mental what's going through your head when you're going for a big squat. Like no one talks about these things.
No, and I think that's kind of part of where some parts of lifting it's boring for me. Like, talking about training is really kind of boring to me
Because training's boring.
because training is training. Like I said, there's so many different ways. I do not like linear periodization. I'm just not a fan of it. But I sat down with Ed Cohn one time, and he just completely blew my mind. And I went, wait a minute, linear periodization is not as bad as I think because no one's ever talked about this stuff about it. And so, like, to me, the things that get me excited talking about lifting is the mental part of it. Like, what do you do? I've seen so many people that I would have never thought are as strong as they are. Or when you hear the stories of the people that broke world records, you're like, dude, how did this guy do that? You know what the common ground of all the best of the best is?
What?
Their mindsets. Like, when I was trying to figure out programs and looking at everybody, the programs are all different, but you know what's the same? Their mindsets are all very similar. Like, their mentalities, how they look at stuff, how they approach stuff
If you
is
could
very different.
if you could like kind of put into like I guess like a one sentence of like what's the most common thing you see mindset wise in like these top level guys.
I would it's a good question. Would have to be something along the lines of fuck what everyone else is doing. I have to do what I have to do. Like, that's one of the big common things. And I had um his name's slipping me right now. He's an arm wrestler now. Leviathan, uh, Leroy Walker,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Leroy.
and
I had him on before.
great dude. And we were talking about this, and he's like, dude, once I figured out that I need to do what I need to do, because that's when things really started happening.
Yeah.
And we do. It's so funny to me because we might have similar anatomy, we might have similar physiology, but we're really all different.
Yeah.
So why do we think that one program will work for all of us? Like, why are we so afraid to step away from what everyone else is doing? You know, one of the guys that I really looked
Yeah.
up to and to this day still love is Chuck Vogelpool. There is no fucking way in hell I could ever train Chuck Vogelpool's program. That dude has, I don't know how he recovers, but he can work people into the ground and still go.
Yeah.
I'm not that. If I go, oh, I love Chuck Vogelpool, I'm going to train like Chuck. That's the dumbest thing ever. You know, I need to find people that are similar to me that I like, and eventually I need to step aside and go, listen, this isn't working. I need to do this.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think that's something that I'm currently still working on of like not caring what others are doing. Like I like
Mhm.
to obviously watch and be observant and maybe pick up a technique cue, but in terms of like where I'm at, I don't need to worry about where this person's at, or it's like, can I be as strong as them in 3 years? It's like that doesn't matter. It's what's the next training session?
You know, I was I think I read it. It was something Ed Cohn said, and I think I read it, and he was like, "Yeah, all I ever did is focus on getting better myself." He's like, I never even really looked at the totals of where I would be. I just, can I keep getting better? And it was fun. I can't remember if I messaged him back or called him, but I was like, got a hold of him, and I'm like, dude, that's really interesting, because I set up my goals, and I have like 3 stages. One is crazy, dude. If this happens, that would be awesome.
Yep.
Because that's the goal when I'm having a bad day or when shit works shitty. That's my daydream goal, man. That makes me smile. Then I have my, here's where I realistically, this is where I want to be. And then I have my daily goals. The most important is the daily goals. Get to the next meet and do better than I did before. Because if I keep getting better, I will end up where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I go, man, I was talking to Ed about that. And it's like, that's so weird. I mean, we looked at it differently, but it was very similar in that aspect.
Yeah, and kind of going off of that, one of my friends kind of has something that I kind of utilize now, and it's like along the same lines. Like for the meet, there's 3 totals for a goal. There's bad day goal. Okay, I could go 4 for 9, still hit this. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Get 5, 6 for 9. Like that's like the main goal. I'll hit this. We'll be good. And then there's the unicorn meet. Like what we all
Yeah.
want to hit. We all know it's probably never going to happen, but like what we're capable of.
That's funny because the guys on my team always to tease me about 9 for 9, because I hate 9 for 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, if you went 9 for 9, either you sold yourself short or you had the goddamn best meet ever.
Yep.
There's no in between. And the odds of that best meet ever, it never happened to me. I never had the meet where I went, oh, dude, every lift, every one was just perfect.
Yeah, if you're 8 for 9 going into that last deadlift, like if you're not sending it like a motherfucker, like you either
Yes.
got to be like it's got to be the perfect like true RP10, like you didn't have a feather on the bar more, or you kind of sandbagged it. Like it's one of the
Yeah.
two.
And that's like meets are that's an interesting mindset too, is going into a meet. And what are you going to be, how are you going to look at it afterwards? And for me, it was always like, dude, did I learn something? If I bombed out of meets, but I learned something. Okay, cool. That's why I was here. I was here to learn. Like, at some point you're going to get to a level where you want to win or you want to break a world record. But, most of our careers is just trying to get better.
Yeah.
And like, even if I bombed out, but I learned something, I'm better then, aren't I? So why am I upset?
Yeah, and it's really hard to not play the numbers game too, and that's something that I'm fighting with because like I said, I'm like 250 right now. Like there's a few drug tested records at 242 that I could take. Like I'm not far off from, and it's like why I gotta not be so concerned with that. Like it'd be nice to have them. Like maybe I'll go for it, but at the same time, like you said, you got to keep learning, got to keep getting better.
Yeah, I think there's a part of that where you got to think a little long term.
Yeah,
And like, okay, so if I get this, like, so what? And then is it really worth me wasting time dropping this? Because what I really want is the 275 or something like that. I have a younger girl, 14, and she's already broken a shit ton of records in her age group. She's crazy, and I love her mentality. She just wants to keep doing more meets and keep breaking records. And I'm like, no, we need to get stronger. If you keep chasing all this shit, it's going to be 5 years down the road, and we're not going to be where we want to be. I go, I'm already thinking long term. Like I'm thinking like one of the best ever already. But it's a little short process in that to get there. And we need to have time to just get stronger. If you're always trying to collect these, I don't know, you call them collect trophies or whatever, you're going to sell yourself short in the long run, in my mind.
yeah. And I was actually saying this yesterday while I was at the gym. It's like I'm 25. If I do this right, I have so much time to hit goals that I want to hit. Like I don't need to hit them in the next year or two. Like why
Yeah,
am I
you have a
rushing?
minimum of 15 years.
Yeah.
And when did you start lifting?
I started lifting like generally like 16, 17. I started competing at 20.
Yeah, so you're 5 years in, you still got 15 years left. Like you got time,
Yeah. And I've only,
And
this
that
will
one
be
of the
my,
other things I would tell you, because I was horrible at this, and this, I talk about balance a lot, and I get a lot of shit. I've gotten a lot of shit throughout my career for a lot of stuff. Not training as often, talking about balance. Like people want to believe that you can't have balance to be great, but I see balance as a scale with two weights on the side.
yep.
Yeah, you can't be right here and be the best in the world, but you can be here. Because I went to here and tipped it off the table, and I know what that does too.
Yeah.
That's no good either. So you do have to have balance, but it's not going to be equal balance. So one of the things that I was really horrible at is I was always so focused on what was ahead. I never enjoyed what I was doing in the present.
Hmm.
Um, my team used to tease me because I would celebrate a world record for maybe 5 seconds. And then when I got my first WPO bench world record, I think I did 8:10. And I jumped up and I'm like, yeah. And then by the time Ethan walked around, I'm like, dude, did I stay tight enough? Like, did I tuck my elbows enough? And he's like, dude, shut up, man. You just broke the world record. And I'm like, but I can do more. So
Yeah.
like, I didn't even care. It was like, what can I do? And looking back, I wish I would have taken it. Like, what would it have hurt to take some time and enjoy that? You know, it might have made the journey even better. It might have helped me in the long run. I think it would have.
Yeah, so I guess like going off that, a question I have would be like, I'm someone who's never satisfied too. Like if I was in that same boat, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd be happy for about 5 seconds and be like, all right, what's next? What's
Yeah.
something that you tell yourself now, or maybe have learned over the years, that kind of helps you enjoy those moments better?
That I try to remind myself that I'm only going to be there once. And as much as I think the goal matters, it's the journey that matters. And I've struggled with that thought. And I've had some long conversations and frustrated some of my friends talking about that. And at the same time, that personality that you have is what's going to make you better. So it's hard to go again. I come back to this balance of, okay, wait a minute, being all here, you miss enjoying the journey. Being here, you don't push yourself and do anything cool. You know, so like you got to have that balance in between. And for me, I look back at my career, and because I had that attitude, I was always pushing. So it was really hard for me to rest.
Hmm.
It was really hard for me. Even people tease me about how often I trained, but man, every time we added more days in, it would take me months of stewing and contemplating and percolating over it. Even though I knew there was a point where it's like, dude, you know you have to do this. It works every single time.
Yeah.
I still struggle doing it, you know, and this is going to be interesting when I get we just poured my slab this morning. So when the building's up and I get the gym up and I can start lifting again, I've already thinking like, dude, this is the perfect time for me to try some shit.
Hell yeah.
Like, cause it doesn't matter. I don't have any competitions. I don't have any real goals just to go, hey, I want to get my bench back up and get my squat back up to something I think is respectable.
Hmm.
So I'm like, this would be a good opportunity to play around with. Instead of going, how much can I lift? Really take the prospect of like, what's the minimum I can lift to get the best results?
I That's a great say, and I think that's something that is like, you need to find what is it, minimum training frequency or something along those lines of like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
what is the least you can do to get stronger still, because if you do that, you're going to get stronger for a much longer time.
Much longer time, probably faster. You know, there's a lot of guys, me included, that we beat ourselves up so bad we don't gain strength as fast as we could.
Yep.
But it's in our brain. It's that blue collar, work harder, work harder, work harder. If I work harder, I'll get stronger. And it's like it doesn't really work that way though.
Yeah, and it's something that went through my mind when I missed this couple things last week. I was like, you there's no reward for training hard. It doesn't matter how hard you
No,
train, there's no reward for it.
nope. Some people might care. Some people there are people out there that will respect you for training harder than what you accomplish. But for me, that was never. No, it was I did that when I started powerlifting. And Dave Tate's the one I say this all the time. Dave Tate's the one that fucking put it on the table and went, here it is. Do you want to beat yourself up in the gym every day dealing with life, or do you want to be one of the best power lifters you can be? And I needed that. My stupid hard headed ass brain needed it to be that simple. And that's when I really started to change. And so at the same point, you go, okay, wait a minute. It's not about how hard I work in the gym. It's about how optimum I can make my recovery and then what training works with that.
Yeah. And it's always
And
like,
that will be the fastest. You can't will it to be faster. You can't, I'm going to train more, because if that was true, Mike Menser used to say this all the time. If that was true, I would train 20 hours a day, 8 days a week.
yeah, it's like you get to end of the workout or your end of the week and you're like, I could have done more. I could have done another set of this. It's like, yeah, but it's not going to get you further. You're wasting your time
Yeah.
and energy.
Yeah. And you're literally wasting your time and energy, because now you pushed past what you can recover from, which is going to slow you down. And even like you were mentioning, coming into your meet, like one of the worst things you can do, and I've seen so many lifters do this, man. They come in and they're a week out of the meet and they're so overtrained. Oh, but I'm going to deload for this next week. I'm like, dude, you're deloaded way more than you're overtrained way more than a week.
Yeah.
A week is not going to cut it. At this point, you need fucking a month off, like, because you're so fucked up.
Yep.
And then they go to the meet and they're like, I doubled that a week ago. Why can't I hit it today? Like, because you're screwed up. That's why your central nervous system isn't going to fire like it can fire. So even if you are stronger, it's not going to show.
Yep. And that's why like a coach can only do so much when an athlete's self-aware. Like I knew I was beat up after that. So I missed the second squat. I was like, okay, whatever. Was pissed off. Then I missed my second deadlift a couple days later. I was like, okay, I'm fried. Told my coach, he's like, all right, take the rest of the week off. Don't do a goddamn thing.
Yes, that's so smart.
Squatted this Sunday. Everything went how I needed it to go. Now I just got some last warm-ups and then we'll be good. Instead of trying to hit that second attempt
Yeah.
again, getting buried, and then not even being able to
And
compete.
that overtraining thing is like a cliff. It's like a little hill, then a cliff. So if you hit the overtraining and you go a little past it, okay, you can recover. You go a little more past it and it goes poof,
Yep.
where it's like up here, you take a few days off and you'll be all right. Here, it's going to be a month.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, once it dives off, you're in trouble. And the funny thing is, and this is where I talk about like going to meets and meeting people. The better I got and the better people I got to meet, the more great shit I learned. And I remember talking, and I try not to throw people's names out unless I know they don't really care. But I was talking to all these great people, and I can tell you, strongmen, powerlifters, even bodybuilders, where I'm like, wait, what? You mean you went into the gym and it didn't feel right, and you went home? Like you came back later, like you went and ate something and came back? What do you mean? You mean you trained twice the next day? They're like, no, something was wrong. I knew my body needed more rest, so I just didn't do it. Wait, no, I can't comprehend. What are you saying? Like, it took me a long time and a lot of times to hear that, because of my blue collar upbringing, I think, where it finally sunk in, where it's like, dude, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Your body just needs more. It needs more recovery, which is another concept. We always talk about more, more, more. Why do we always, when we think more, why do we think training? Why don't we think recovery? Why don't we think sleep? Why don't we think nutrition?
Yeah.
Maybe it is more. It's just not more lifting. It's more of the other shit that you don't like to do.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like I keep going back to this just because it's so prevalent, but like when I was warming up, I was like, this feels like shit. It's probably going to be a bad day. Whatever. I got to do this. It's like, I don't got to do this. I could have
Yeah,
stopped at my last
exactly.
warm up. I could have.
Just think if you would have like went, nah, you know what? I'm experienced. I know that right now this day is not going to be good. And everybody wants to go, yeah, but I had that day where I felt like shit and I trained awesome. And I'm like, yeah, but how many of those did you have compared to how many you didn't?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. These top legendary guys were telling me, I go in and something's wrong. There's no reason, there's no benefit to pushing it. Even one good training session is minute.
Yeah.
And this is where I struggle with kind of what we were talking about earlier, where you said not pushing that RPE. Like, you're better off going the 9 instead of the 10. I do think you're better off a little undertrained, but I still struggle because I like going to that. I like Mac. That's one of the things I love about conjugate. Hey,
Yeah.
on dynamic days, I get to push it as fast as I can. So I'm still going. In my brain, I remember Louis one time saying, okay, if you're 1,000-pound squatter, you may have 500 pounds in bands. I want 1,000 pounds on every squat. Like I want you pushing 1,000 pounds of force. So to me, dynamic day, dude, that's 100% for the slight weight. And then when max effort comes, it's like, dude, it's good mornings. Okay, so we're going to like, it's almost a quarter squat. Like I'm going to the fucking damnedest I can. I might even do a pick and hold with as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
and that's the battle. That's the battle, man. It's like you should maybe take it a little easy, but your brain's like, no, we're gonna go full send. Like I want to hit this number. You put this
and
goal in your head, and you're like, fuck.
I mean, I will still say I think like I like pick and holds a lot because I think it trains your central nervous system to learn to deal with those heavy weights. And I think you need to learn to push yourself. But the thing is if you stop and think about it, when you have a newer lifter, you're a younger lifter, your technique sucks. You're not recruiting that many muscle fibers. So you're going to train like you think you're a badass and like you think you're pushing yourself really hard, but you're really not tapping into what you're capable of. I used to train in my basement and I would literally squat. And then if I could walk up the stairs, I would go back down and squat more. Like until I physically collapsed on the stairs, that's when I was done. And I thought I was such a badass. I had no idea what it was like to truly push yourself.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea what central nervous system pushing was at all. I learned that later in powerlifting. So no matter how hard I pushed, I couldn't push myself that far in overtraining. So that was a good time to be like, yeah, go for it. Do it. Let's go. Let's teach you to suffer and grind and push through it. But then there's a point as you get better and better and better where it's like, dude, no, that's going to take too much out of you.
Yeah, and then kind of going back to that RP 9 versus 10 thing, it's like I've heard other people say it. I've said it a million times. Like you can't make that judgment unless you've truly experienced what a full RPE 10 is until the point
Yes.
of like I said with the dead, like if you put a feather on the bar, you're missing it type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people have no idea. I mean, I'm amazed. I was helping this one guy in the gym one time and I'm like, he's not paying me. And I was still had my team and stuff. So I'm like, all right, dude, here's what I want you to do. And I'll keep an eye on you. So in one end, we had like two big rooms in the gym. I'm like, all right, you're going to do heavy good mornings. You know, you warmed up and you're going to go to max effort. So we're on the other side doing our supplemental stuff. And I peek over there and he's like, all right, he's at 135. And I peek over and he's at 225. Next time I peek over, the weights are put away. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? He's like, oh, I did it. I'm like, what do you mean you did it? It's max effort. He's like, yeah, that 225 was really heavy. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, you have no idea. So there's a lot of people that don't know what it feels like to strain or push, you know, and like that's I think I helped with one of the, and I would love to go back and help with more of them because I love these, the train your ass off that Dave Tate does.
Yeah.
Cause that's my shit, man. I love that stuff. Like pushing people and getting as much out of them as possible is awesome.
Yeah, and so kind of going off of that, I know you squat 1,000 pounds drug free, and that's something that I have my eyes on. So I kind of want to talk about maybe the mindset with that because I mean I saw your post about it. It was a crazy meet experience, and so there's a lot going on with that. I kind of want to get a little breakdown of that.
Well, that was for me at the time. You know, there was guys like Kurt Kowalski that did 1,000, and you know, you was like, dude, is there really anybody drug free? Like maybe Shane Hammond, because I think Shane Hammond might have been clean, and that was the fastest squat I've ever seen. But I mean, really, nobody thought you could do 1,000 pounds drug free,
Hmm.
and so I don't even know why. Like I did my first 700 in competition, and I went 1,000. Like it just was in my head, and I'm like 1,000. I'm gonna do a fucking 1,000. And literally everyone I knew, everyone I told, from family to training partners, are like, dude, can anybody do that? And what the hell makes you think you could do it? Like, how are you going to do that? I don't know. Well, how long do you think it's going to take? I have no idea. I'm just going to do it. And like, I mean, that literally was my mindset. This is what I'm going to do. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to do it. And then it was a matter of, you know, just we kept tweaking the training. I was always trying to find the optimum technique, the optimum training, and just just like, okay, I want to do 1,000, but you know what? I got to get better each meet. Like I got to keep getting better. And I think I'm going to rate mentality above all else. On are you going to be successful or not? What's the one trait? Mentality is going to be the number one trait. Like you got to believe it. And like I literally, my dad, which me and my dad have throughout life we've bumped heads quite a bit. But he did teach me about like when I was young. He taught me because he was always a really good bowler and he was a great athlete. My whole family are great athletes and I suck. Um, he taught me about visualization when I was young and made me read some books on it. So like in high school when I was shot putting, like I would visualize. And so by the time I got into powerlifting, I'm like, dude, I would literally go in my room, turn the lights off and set a clock or a timer for 20 minutes. And I would sit on the floor up against the wall and just visualize these lifts over. And I would visualize them from my perspective, feeling it. I would visualize me watching it. I would visualize the celebration after it, like the whole thing. And I would be at work, bored as hell, because I at the time I think I was doing forklift stuff. And I'm like in my head, I'm just running this lift over and over and over and just going over it. And it's like, dude, I don't give two fucks who think it's possible or not. I think it is, and really, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like, so I just kept going for it, and I was never afraid to say that's what I wanted to do. I was like, no, it's going to happen, so I don't care.
Yeah. And
Like, it's going to happen.
I share that kind of, so like with that, I have my phone, my screensaver on my phone literally says, I will squat 1,000 pounds. I have it
Mhm.
written on all the mirrors in on my bathroom, on my closet. Like it's written
I
everywhere.
was I was very big on notes like that, and after so I totaled 1,700 in my first 3 lift meet. And shortly after that, I went to a seminar with Dave because I realized I don't know I don't even know a quarter of what I need to know to do what I want. So that's when I found Dave. I did all this research, and that's the guy I want to learn from. Went to his seminar, and he sent me a card afterwards, and it said, "Great meeting you. It was awesome having you here. Good luck with 2,100-pound total." And I pinned that next to my bedroom door, so I looked at it every time I walked out. Like I'm big on that stuff.
Yeah. So I know when you went for it, you missed it on the second, and then you came back and hit it on the third. What was going through your mind after the miss?
Nothing. Like I didn't care. I'm really good. I'm really, really good at separating lifts.
Okay.
I'm actually I was notorious. Like I had one of my training partners is like, dude, I've never fucking seen anyone like you. He goes, you can go miss your first 2 attempts at the squat and you'll come back and hammer your third. He goes, most people miss their first squat, they're done. He goes, it doesn't even affect you. And I'm like, well, why should it? Like if I miss a lift, I just go, why did I miss it? Oh, I didn't stay tight enough. Okay, big deal. Who fucking cares? Like
Yeah.
I'm notorious. I had one meet where we did 1,000. My last warm up was 1,000 pounds in the back, and I hate wearing knee wraps.
I
So I
love knee
won't wrap
wraps.
unless I won't wrap unless it's over 1,000 pounds.
Would you
And
go naked knee before that?
yeah,
Th Yeah, I can't do that.
so I do this 1,000 in the back, and I'm like conserving energy, so it's ugly. I'm out of the group, and it looks like shit, and everybody's like, "Fuck, hey Chad, you gonna change your opener?" And I go, "No, why?" They're like, "Did you not just see what you just did with 1,000 pounds?" I'm like, "Yeah, so what? I think I went and opened with 11." I'm like, "Who gives a fuck? Like, so what?" But I also went to meets and opened with weights that I never did. Like I hear these stories. I trained at a Flex Gym and American Iron Gym, and I still hear stories about stuff I did, and I'm like, I don't think I actually did that in here. I don't remember doing that because like there's a lot of times, like you said, like I can't be doing these 11,000, 11 or 1,200 pound squats in the gym all the time. It kills me.
Yep.
Like I'm shit for weeks after a competition. So I would judge by other lifts. And I'd be like, okay, I'm this much stronger, so let's open with this. It's a lift I'd never done. Like I would go to a meet and open with a lift I never did.
Yeah, and it's
But in my mind, it's like, well, I did this, this, and this, and I'm stronger than I was. So why can't I do this?
yeah, no, exactly. I get what you're saying. There's
So
these markers of like, well, my opener moved so much faster this week. Like, we're good. We're in the right spot. Like, I don't need to go to that third attempt to prove to myself I can hit it.
yeah, yeah, like, and that's just that's building that confidence in yourself. So I think I opened a 970 or something, and that went easy. Then I missed 1,000, but I've made a lot of dumb mistakes in my life. I'm a little bit retarded, so it takes me a while to learn stuff. Making mistakes is a good thing for me because that's me learning.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, dude, I just got to dive on this. Like, I got to go down fast and I'm just going to rebound and fucking nail this. And the funny thing is, I remember thinking that and I watched the video and I'm like, that wasn't very fast going down, but it was faster than I normally do. And I got loose.
Yeah.
And so I missed it. And Jesse Burdick he trained with Diablo Barbell back then, and he was in the Diablo Barbells. And Jesse helped me tremendously that day. But Jesse's friends with Paul Childress,
Hmm.
who's one of the best 308s in the world.
Yep.
So Paul goes up to Jesse and is like, Jesse, tell Chad that he's got this lift, dude. He's just got to stay tight and build the pressure. And Jesse's like, fuck you, you tell him. Paul's like, I don't even know him, dude. He's like, who gives a shit? Go tell him. So Paul came up and told that to me. And so I'm like, dude, if Paul Childress gives me advice, I'm going to fucking listen,
Yeah.
man. You know, so I got under it and I'm like, dude, this is why I'm here. Just because I missed a lift, they're completely and totally separate. It's like a golfer who gets in a slump. He lets that one bad swing affect everyone after that. There is no connection.
It's so funny that I literally just sent like chills down my spine because I was literally going to use golf as an example of like, you have one bad swing, dude. There's still three more swings on the hole. It's a separate event.
Yeah. And the powerlifting's the same way. Every lift is separate. Very rarely do people miss lifts because of strength.
Especially in equipped.
Unless you're picking horrible fucking numbers. Like most of the time you miss the lift. I mean, I don't think I've ever missed a lift in competition because of strength. I can always go, you lost your root, you lost your brace. You know, you fucking didn't have your scaps retracted. Like I can always pick out something that I could have done better and probably got that lift.
Yeah. And it's funny that you bring up golf too, because I picked up golf a couple years ago. Actually, right around the time I started this podcast, I started golfing, and it actually helps mentally with life in general, but powerlifting too. It's like if you can separate all right, cool. I had a terrible tee shot. I can hit a good shot. We're back on place. Same thing. Like my opener was shit. Whatever. We'll hit the second. We'll set myself up for the big one. Same idea of like piss on it, move on, next one.
Yeah, and you really have to do it. Like people get so hung up on every little thing, and like I mean, you're never going to have like the unicorn. There's the unicorn of meat prep too. Odds are you're never going to have it. Like odds are you're going to get, and that's one of the reasons I hated linear periodization. It's like, dude, I know in this 12 to 16 weeks I'm going to get sick. Then what the fuck do I do? Like, do I go in and train sick to hit the percentage? Do I skip the percentage? What do I do the next week? Like, I just hated that whole concept.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's never going to be perfect. I've had horrible meat preps and had great meats. Like, it doesn't matter. And really, it's funny too because the concepts people have is funny to me. Okay, so it's 12. So you do a 12-week prep. That's a fairly standard.
Yeah.
Do you really think you're getting stronger in 12 weeks?
Not really.
Like you're not. Like I know, you know how long it takes me for one period I went from 1700 to 2700 total. That was a 10-year period. I put 100 pounds on a year. So if you round that out, and it actually was pretty equal, if you round it out, you're putting like 30 pounds on a lift. And to me, that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt really proud of making those gains. Like 12 weeks is nothing. What you can do though is you can like peak your body for one rep, depending on how you're training. If you train conjugate, you're always ready for that. And you can get your body 100% ready to go, or you can be undertrained or overtrained. So like the meat prep is more about going, listen, I'm more worried about you coming in on that day feeling the absolute best I can get you to feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about putting on fucking 5 or 10 pounds over 12 weeks. Like, because you're not really gaining that kind of strength.
Yeah, and especially in the world of equip where it's like, so this meet I'm doing in 2 weeks, it'll be literally exactly 1 year since my first multiply meet. It's the same meet, and so if the numbers I wanna hit somewhere in between that, like, we could, over that year, if things go well, I added 400 pounds to my total in a year. Like, that I
Which
need
would be
to
incredible.
yeah, so I need to, like, kinda take a step back and realize, like, I pick this up fast, and I need to not get ahead of myself.
That's actually a very intelligent perspective, especially on gear training, because people are like, oh, I have gear on, I'm superhuman. You know, and you do feel that way. I mean, there's something about walking up to a platform and you're like,
Like an Iron
you're like,
Man mech suit,
dude,
yeah.
I'm in this suit. I'm fucking impervious. You could shoot me, you know. But your tendon strength, your ligament strength, the adaptation of your cartilage is all important, and none of those things happen fast. I
Yeah,
mean, ligaments have such a poor blood supply; they don't grow stronger and thicker overnight. I mean, it takes time. And so there is a point where you need to go, hey, like, dude, you just added a lot of weight. Did your body really have time to adjust? And I mean, that goes back to that old saying, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
yep.
You know, and that's holding back and that's thinking, dude, I'm long term. I'm looking at the long game here.
Exactly. The longevity is key, and I think that's one of the things I've noticed too between like the raw world and the equipped world is you see people lasting a much longer time in equipped, and obviously it's like the equipment's protecting your joints a little bit more, but you're also handling more weight, so it's like. But I just found generally speaking, like you'll see more people in their 40s competing in multiply than you do raw.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that has a lot to do. I mean, I don't know. There's so many different avenues we could go down talking. We could go down mental health. We could go down joint health. You know, I see so many power lifters that will not stretch and will not do mobility work. And I'm like, here's one of my favorite sayings. Powerlifting is not about who's the strongest. It's about who can lift the most weight. And that's why I was always a big technician.
Yeah.
I'm going to make every fucking benefit I can out of my leverages. And with that, mobility is going to add to that.
Hmm.
If you can't hit a proper wide, I don't say sumo squat. If you can't hit a proper wide squat and you let your body get out of position because you're too tight, you're not lifting what you're capable of. Simply by stretching out my anterior chest and my anterior delts, I can retract my shoulder closer. The further I retract, the shorter my distance gets, which means I push more weight.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Not to mention my shoulders are in a healthier, safer position.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that, and I'm on the opposite side of the fact that for upper body, it's like good mobility, normal, like nothing's I'm not I had some pec issues, but I fixed it, whatever. But like hips and like everything like that, I'm like hyper mobile. So I need to do the like the opposite of the it benefits me incredibly on
But is see hypermobile? I don't like that word.
yeah, it's a weird word. I know what you mean, but
It's
it
not a bad. It's not a bad thing. Like I can damn near do the splits. I don't need that to squat, but I can do it.
yeah, so what
Like
happened
if you're tightening your muscles and stuff, how is there hypermobile?
yeah, I don't mean like that, but like I guess for example, like on sumo deadlift, it works great. I can externally rotate my hips super well, get into a great position. But I found I did some adjustments on my squats where I was going like very toes out and with the wide stance, and I found that
Mhm.
I was opening way too much to a point where I couldn't sit back enough, and then I was getting bound up at like 3 inches. So now I turn my toes in a little bit, and I can actually fight it a little bit more and create more tension in that hole.
But that's not an issue of being too flexible. That's an issue of not performing the lift correctly. And by straightening your toes up, you probably incorporated more hip flexor, which is going to help you hold that tension at the bottom better.
Okay.
So I don't think you were too flexible. I think you just weren't looking at it the right way and activating the right muscles. And I mean, even Louis used to always say he ideally he wanted all of his wide squatters with their feet straight, but most guys couldn't do that because they didn't have the flexibility, and that's why he started turning them out. But if you look at Chuck Vogelpohl would put his feet all the way against the monolift, so they're straight, and he still hit depth.
So you think it's more of like the toes out is a compromise to what should be correct?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
gotcha. I can see
But
that.
most people just won't stretch out enough to do that.
Yeah, it's funny. They'll do everything but the right things.
No, it is interesting, and I've like that's part of the mental aspect to me because like, well, why are you doing what you're doing? Have you ever stopped and thought about what you're doing? And I never wanted to be. I guess coming into powerlifting, I was like 27 in my first meet, so I was like 29 when I got serious. I think that was probably a benefit to me being a little bit older because I didn't make some of the mistakes that I made with my younger sports
Mhm.
stuff. But I always wanted to be intelligent about it. Like to me, the power of my brain was every bit as important as the power of my body. Um, so I wanted to think about what I was doing. I didn't want somebody to go, "Hey, why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "I don't know, because I saw someone else do it." Like I wanted to go, "Well, here's exactly why I'm doing it." I mean, right or wrong, at least I have thought behind it. And I do that with all my everybody that trains with me in person. I'm like, dude, I expect you to learn. I'm your coach, but as your coach, I see myself more as your guide.
Mhm.
I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help guide you through this journey. So I'm going to ask you questions. And when I have teams, I may go, hey, what's wrong with this squat? And you better have a goddamn answer. Like I'll accept a wrong answer a whole lot better than I will accept no answer because at least then you're trying.
It's funny. One of my old football coaches says like if you're gonna make a mistake, do it at 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. At least go, hey, I thought about this. Maybe I thought about it wrong, but I thought about it and I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I totally agree.
But I think we can kind of wrap things up here. So I'll ask you my final question. If you could give a new powerlifter, someone going into their first meet, a word of advice, what would you tell them?
Yeah, you asked me this question in the previous thing, and I forgot my answer.
You want a reminder?
I know you said something like you can't use have fun,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure it was something along the lines of that. Only I worded it a little differently. Like, just go do it. Like, just go do it. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy what's going on. Learn what you can. Like, this is the the first meet is it's basically the first block of your foundation. It's going, hey, listen, I'm trying to calculate my shit off these numbers, but you've never done a meet, so you don't really have numbers,
Hmm.
and it's a whole lot different doing it in the gym than doing it at a meet with other lifters there and judges. And like, this is going to tell you really where you're at.
Yep.
So go in there and yes, have fun. Like go in there, like, I'm here to learn, man. Like, I don't give a shit what I do, which you're never going to be able to do. You're always going to give some shit how you do. I guarantee it. But don't focus on that. Focus on I'm here to learn. I'm here to get better. I'm here to see what this is all about, see if I love it. And so I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to learn what I can. I'm going to meet new people and I'm just going to take all of this in and have fun.
Yeah.
Like cuz and then when I leave I can go, dude, that was cool, man. I met cool people. I learned some shit. Now I have numbers to go off of. Let's do this thing, man. Or maybe you go in there and go, that sucked. I fucking hate this sport. Well, at least you learned. I mean,
Exactly. I totally agree. I think first meet is I like to say first meet should be your worst meet.
yeah. And again, like I said earlier, don't ever be afraid to just go do a meet. Like the one thing I can say about Highland Games and powerlifting is you're gonna I mean, I would be surprised if anybody had a first competition that didn't have fun because everybody's cool.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't care. You're like, oh, I'm going to try to bench 205. I guarantee you there's going to be people there that go, oh, you've never done it. So that's a PR then, dude. Like, you can hit a PR bench today. They don't give a shit what the weight is.
Yep.
They care more that you're hitting a PR and you're growing. And like I did my first Highland Games, I signed up for it and they said, okay, well, you've never done it before, so you're a novice. I go, no, don't put me in novice. I go, don't do that, dude. He's like, "Well, you've never done it before." I go, "Listen, I'm one of the strongest guys in the world, and like I have a shot put background. I mean, just because I haven't done these events, I go, and I'm not saying for me, like that's not fair to everyone else. Like, don't put me in novice, man. Well, I got to put you in novice. I'm like, God damn it. All right, whatever, man. So I go to the meet. I felt horrible. Like I made sure to tell everybody, like, listen, I told them not to put me here. And everybody's they're all laughing and it was cool. But I mean, I met so many cool people, and even who I am, I think I had a beard back then, big bearded, huge guy. I was huge back then. Like everybody was cool, man. And even I'm beating guys like just walking out there. And guys are like, dude, do this, do this, do that. Like everybody's trying to help me. Everybody's trying to make it better. Like, I mean, just I don't know, man. Strength athletes are cool.
Yeah.
Like, so don't ever fear going in and do it. Just go do it. You're gonna learn so much from that first. I would have if I wouldn't have got into a powerlifting meet, I would have kept lifting and I would probably lift right now what I did in my first 3 lift meet.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I would have ever advanced and learned what I actually needed to know if I wouldn't have just did the meet.
Exactly. Just do the damn thing. Well, I want to thank you again for taking the time to come on. It was my pleasure.
Oh, it was a great. I had a fun conversation. I may be old and I may have done this a long time, but it kind of amazes me how much I still love it.